Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Best Today podcast. I've got a short one here for you today. Today's episode came to my mind while having a conversation about the power of forgiveness. And I thought of two different things. I grabbed my notebook. I keep a work notebook with me a lot. And I pulled it out and I wrote this down for the podcast. And I want to talk to you today just about this. Two simple things about forgiveness. I think it's two. We'll see. Let's just go with it. I thought about forgiveness as being one of the great distractions in your life. If you know, I talk about distractions a lot. We talk about them in the mission of Best Today, which we talked about in a few episodes back when I talked about the mission of Best Today. The way I see it is one of the greatest things that really rob you of living a life with intention is not being intentional with your time. And one of the things that rob you of being intentional with your time are the many distractions that this world has to offer. A lot of people jump straight to social media. And yes, that is a huge one in many people's lives. But friends, there are some that are even more present and that were present in your life before social media was a thing. And as I was having this conversation and we were talking about forgiveness, in my head, I think unforgiveness is a leading cause of distraction in a lot of people's lives. And it's either one, not forgiving others, but two, not forgiving yourself. And so the question I wanted to bring to you on the podcast first, we'll start with others first. So here's what I know to be true about unforgiveness. Is that a word? I think so. Not being forgiving or not forgiving is that it makes you ineffective. It messes with your mind and it alters your clarity and your focus, right? It's hard to focus because your mind is on harboring the thing that you have against whomever you are not forgiving and releasing from the thing, even if they were wrong, right? Because forgiveness has everything to do with you and what's happening in your mind and your body and your heart. And so if I'm trying to live my life, right, intentionally, and I'm trying to go into my day with a peace of mind, but in my mind, I'm telling these warped stories, right? I've opened my mind and heart to being manipulated and creating these stories that are not true about whomever or whatever the situation is. I'm already operating with distractions in my mind. If you harbor on these things to the fact that these stories have now become a reality, you are living distracted with a distorted reality or a one-sided reality that you've created. And so forgiveness is for you. It is to relieve yourself of reliving the pain, the anger, the frustration, the hurt that someone else might have caused you to have, and releasing them from that so that you can be free, because otherwise that becomes a distraction in your life, which does prevent you from living a life of intention. And so interesting, because I don't think I've ever thought of unforgiveness like that. I've thought many things about unforgiveness over the years, but I never thought of it in the terms, as I was talking, I was like, man, it sounds like it's really a distraction. And it's one of those distractions that could be keeping someone from living a life of intention, because now your mind is constantly thinking about this thing. Or if you find yourself in the same place or space as someone who you are harboring unforgiveness toward, it is deeply affecting you. And it's festering more and more the longer you hold on to it, which is why it's also important to release it and relinquish it quickly, right? And so there's the forgiveness of others. But second, the one I really want to give you some space to think about, that I think most people harbor on more than anything, is the forgiving of self. And so I just wanted to bring this question to you today of, what haven't you forgiven yourself for? What haven't you let go? What haven't you released to yourself? How are you still punishing yourself or holding yourself to a sentence for something you have done? At Best Today, we exist to help women just like you be your best one today at a time. So each week on the podcast, we are going to highlight your stories and your voices. So let's see what's in the inbox today.
Hey, Shantae. It's Carter Cundiff, and just excited to kind of explain to you what is really important to me about the Best Today Guide, and what's really beneficial. I've gotten to really find a way to intentionally create, consistent structure in my day today. And that's really elevated a lot in my life because, I can take each night to pray for my next day, think about the things that are so easily forgettable. And, things like, what am I thinking of to, you know, do what's best for my health and do what's best for what I need to get done the next day. Not because I have to, but because, I've chosen these specific things to be productive on and to really hone in on and accomplish and achieve and attack. But I also love that in the mornings I can also decide what my best today will look like. And that can change every single day because if there's anything I've learned in the last 6 months and definitely the last year is that that meter for what you can put out and what you're capable of doing, because you have some days and moments that are tough, and you can give a little bit less, but it's still your best because that's what you have to give, right? And I just love being able to remind myself, okay, these are the wonderful things that I'm going to be able to focus on and rely on in my personality, because I can say, hey, these are my good qualities that I can use to strengthen what I'm going to produce or create today. And then these are the things I want to try and stay away from, to try and notice when they are happening, that I can go, okay, hold on, stop. Let's reframe. What are the strengths I have? What can I work on to get through a more intentional day today and work towards the goals that I have? Not just to produce and what I get done. That's not what matters the most, but it is to feel like I'm creating intention, creating structure, creating that happiness in my day that helps me feel like I'm moving toward my goal, whether that means I've done, a major thing or even a small thing, because those small things really do add up, right? They do matter. They make all the difference. So I'm just really grateful for the Best Today Guide because it has created a space for me to go each day when I need to and start the night before and be prepared for what I'm going to start the next day. And then, I can use those tools and practices outside of the Best Today Guide for other parts of my life. And I'm just grateful for that. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Carter, for sharing. If you want to experience just all of the great things that people are experiencing by using the Best Today Guide, you can go to besttoday.co. We'll also link to it in today's show notes. Wherever you're listening, scroll down and you'll be able to click and go back and watch a video showing you inside the Best Today Guide. You can read tons of 5-star reviews on the Best Today Guide. But truly, if you are in need of being proactive and intentional with your time, if you're trying to draw your humanity back into your day-to-day, into your planning, then the Best Today Guide is a tool that was created to help you right where you are. Again, you can go to besttoday.co. And thank you so much, Carter, for taking the time to share so much about how this product has helped you in your life. And recently, I think I can share this now, Carter has shared with us in the Best Today community that it was the use of that Best Today Guide and these principles and practices that allowed her to submit her 2-week notice, and she is able to pursue what really matters to her in her life right now. So we congratulate you on that, Carter, as well. Again, go to besttoday.co and order your Best Today Guide. And congratulations and thank you, Carter. Listen to it in the way you talk about yourself. Oh, I'm a this. I'm not that. I'm not good at this. I'm suck. Oh, I deserved that. Listen to the ways in which you speak and think about yourself. And I talk about this in what episode did we just do about that one question, 124, 2 episodes. If you haven't listened to that, go back and listen to episode 124. I'll link to it in the show notes. But it's that, where did that come from? And maybe where is it coming from is a place of unforgiveness. What haven't you forgiven yourself for? And is that a contributing factor in the way you see and speak and think and feel about yourself? And can you see how that is causing a huge distraction and allowing you to live a life of peace and health and well-being and joy and intention, all that I'm trying to push out into you and into this world. And that's what I have for you today. That really short thought that came to me, I wanted to share it with you because I know for someone, it is the thing that you needed to hear to set you free and to hear maybe a different perspective on it. What haven't you forgiven yourself or someone else for? Why haven't you let it go? And I want to invite you to relinquish it, release it, because it is a festering distraction in your life and it is not helping you. It is in fact harming you from being your best one today at a time and living the life that I believe you desire, or you wouldn't be listening to this podcast. So that is what I have for you today. Come back, listen to it again, share it with a friend who you know needs to hear it. And otherwise, that's what I have for you, my friends. Thank you for being present with me for this week's episode of the podcast. Remember that everything that we do here on the podcast and at Best Today is to help you to live well. And if you want to learn more about how to get started, you can go to besttoday.co/quiz. And in the meantime, or until next time, I'll talk to you on the next episode of the Best Today podcast. Bye for now. If you enjoyed this week's episode of the Best Today podcast, you are going to love the Best Today Guide. Our Better Than a Planner guide teaches you how to get clear on what you want, identify your self-destructive habits and behaviors, and intentionally create space to prioritize yourself every single day. Don't go the journey to being your best one today at a time without the Best Today Guide. See inside its pages and order yours today at besttodayguide.com. Even better, when you order the Best Today Guide, we gift you with your first month free inside of the Best Today membership. So what are you waiting for? We're giving you everything you need to trade busy for intention. Go to besttodayguide.com and order yours today and join thousands of women across the globe proclaiming each day, this is what my best today looks like.